So Buttercup and I would like to talk to you about curing hair loss, right Buttercup? Right? I think she wants to get down, so I'm just gonna let her down now. Alright, so I've made several videos on this topic before about my bald spot journey and about the path I took to grow back 2 huge bald spots. And I realized that there were a couple of pointers that I forgot to mention, but in order just to go over the basics, I'll start with the products that I use. So the #1 product that I use to cure my hair loss naturally, keyword naturally, I didn't do any scalp shots, I didn't take any medication prescribed by a doctor. I simply used some natural ingredients and took some natural supplements. So alright, so let's talk about the ingredients. And the #1 ingredient, okay, alright, so it's number one is Emu Oil. So Emu Oil regenerates the cells of your hair follicles, and it creates a great space for your hair to regrow. Mind you, I am not talking about growing back my hair from other types of alopecia. I'm only talking about growing back my hair after getting alopecia areata, and that is when your immune system pretty much attacks your hair follicles. I went through a really tough time with stress and depression while I was living abroad alone in a really kind of like crazy city, Cairo, and I just couldn't handle it. So yeah, it was kind of like my body, my immune system attacking my hair follicles. It didn't come from, I know there are other types of alopecia, like forgive me if I get this wrong. It's called like alopecia traction or something like that, when you have hair that falls out because maybe you got cornrows that were too tight, or maybe you got braids that were too tight, and your hair follicles are being pulled out of your scalp. That didn't happen to me. It was my body that kind of just like attacked my hair follicles, not a really rough hairstyle. So please understand the difference. As far as I know, I've never had the other types of alopecia that comes from pulling your hair out of the follicle itself. So I can't really speak on that. But when it comes to alopecia areata, using Emu Oil has helped me, okay? And then the second most important ingredient that I used for this is peppermint oil. You know, I've gotten questions on my other videos like, oh, you know, in this video you show this brand, but in the other video you show the I think it's called Essential Oils Now brand. Is there a difference? No, there's no difference. I haven't noticed any difference in the different brands of oils that I've used. Even the Emu Oil, the first brand of Emu Oil that I used was like in a yellow container with a picture of an actual emu bird, and this works just as well as the other brand. So don't worry about the brands too much. And the last ingredient that I used was lavender oil, and I ran out, so I don't have the actual bottle on me right now. But yeah, so those are the 3 main ingredients. I also took Provillus vitamins, and they worked pretty well as well. So I'll make sure to leave the links of all the products that I use to grow back my hair and cure my hair loss in the description below. Now, let's talk about hairstyles. So, even though I found out that I didn't get the hair loss, my hair didn't fall out because I was braiding too tight. I was at the time wearing twists. I was wearing twists, and my hair came out like in this area. It didn't come out on my edges, it came out in the crown of my head. So what I did to ensure that I had the best chance of growing my hair back naturally without having to get those shots the doctor talked about, I took out my braids and I started to just wear buns. I started to just wash my hair weekly. And after I washed and conditioned my hair weekly, I would take this Emu and essential oil mix put it in a little container like this, like a little teeny mixing bowl. I would use a dropper like this to drop some emu oil and some peppermint and lavender oil in the mix, and I would mix it up, and then I would take my finger and then rub it on the bald spot on my crown, on my scalp. Every week, every single week I did this in order to grow my hair back, because I was afraid. I was like, I didn't know whether or not at the time I didn't know whether or not I got the bald spot from the braids. And at the time, like, my boyfriend at the time was like, you have to take these braids out, they're hurting your hair. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, I don't do it tightly, blah, blah, blah. Later on, I found out it had nothing to do with my hairstyle being in twist. It was my immune system attacking my hair follicles. But I just made sure there was the least tension possible on my scalp and on my hair follicles, so I just took my braids out. I took my twists out. And gradually my hair started growing back. I will put some clips of my hair growing back. I'll show you the journey right after this little conversation we're having right now. Right after this little conversation, I will show you the gradual progression of my bald spot journey in the regrowth and how long it took. It took about 6 to 7 months for me to truly see no more bald spots on my scalp. And I was determined not to take any prescribed medicine from a doctor. And so yeah, that's it. That is everything I'd like to say about that, about how to cure hair loss. Remember, I'm talking about alopecia areata. I don't really know much about the other alopecias, and sorry if I didn't know the exact medical term for the alopecia that comes about when your hair and your follicles are grabbed too tight. Okay, all right, so I hope this video was helpful, and as always, these are the products I used. You can use them too. I'm pretty sure they work. And other people have asked me, can you use castor oil? Can you use black seed oil and some other oils as well? Who are some other oils? I think the most I've heard is castor and black seed oil. Yes, of course you can. But I know that they're not the same as emu oil, and to me, emu oil has been a lifesaver. So I would highly recommend that one over the other ones, okay? All right, see you guys, bye. So here were my bald spots back in July 2016. I had 2 bald spots, one on the top and then one in the back of my head. I was pretty sad about this. But when I started using some natural methods, things got a little better. And in August 2016, 1 month later, I could see some new growth coming, and as you can see here, there are little hairs coming out of the bald spot finally. Before, it was completely bare and there was no hair. It was just clean bald spot. All my hair had fell out from the follicles. And moving on to the following month, in September 2016, I noticed even more growth. More hair is coming through, and in both spots I see a big difference. The hair that's growing, the new hair that's growing, is a lot softer. In October, the small little baby soft hairs are still coming up, and I can see a lot more growth. And this is at the end of October. Now November is when things got a lot better. As you can see, the bald spot is almost completely covered with this new soft baby hair from the new growth. And yeah, I began to have a lot more hope about my bald spot growing back. And so by December, my bald spot had gotten much better. This is after I washed my hair, and this is after it dried a little bit. As you can see, the new hair is a lot softer and curlier than the rest of my hair. Now, you're probably wondering how I did this. Now, I was able to grow back my hair naturally by doing a couple of things. Number one was taking Provillus hair vitamins. And you can access this in the description below. And using Emu Oil. I used to mix Emu Oil with 2 other oils, and they're coming up. I mixed Emu Oil with Peppermint Oil, and this makes a huge difference. It stimulates hair growth immediately. And you can click the links below to get the Peppermint Oil and the Emu Oil and the pills. And oh yeah, Lavender Oil. I mixed in Lavender Oil as well. Try this out for yourself, and make sure you check out the products and supplies featured in this video by clicking the links below in the description. If you want a chance to win beauty and health prizes, click the link below to enter your name and email address. You'll be entered in upcoming and monthly giveaway contests and get updates for beauty and health tips.